All right, YouTubers, today is hog processing day. So we've been here this morning processing hogs, making sausage, and so we have a half a hog left that we're going to show you the breakdown on that. Eric's been breaking down the meat. Jason and I have been processing sausage and wrapping. So what I'm going to do is turn this camera around, show you the meat part, and how Eric's kind of broke down one half of the hog and what we do with that hog. Alright, so I'm going to spin this thing around.
Alright guys, right here we took a hog, we split it down the middle. So you got a half a pig here. This pig weighed 310 pounds live. So roughly I'm going to say this half a hog probably weighed a little over 100 pounds. And when you break one down, I already got it cut. My brother-in-law will zoom in where you can see. First thing you want to do is break your ham. Well, pull your leaf fat off right here. I already got it pulled off. This is what they like to render down to make pies and cakes and cookies. It's excellent for baking. It's because it's the mildest fat on a pig. We save that, we render it down, and then you come back and you take your knife, you cut in here, and you roll your bacon up out of the way. Then you take your knife and you make a lick down through here to the bone, and then I'll just use this for instance right here. Take your handsaw. This is the tailbone of the pig, okay, if that gives you an idea of where we're at on the hog. This is where his tail hangs off and wags, you know, if you will. Hate to say it like that. But you get at the angle of the H-bone. And you saw the bone in two, whoop, like that, with your handsaw, and you take your knife and you cut all the way through. And you have a nice whole ham. You know, you can do a lot of things with this. You can inject it, salt it, smoke it, make a country ham out of it. I'm going to debone them, and I'll show that in a little bit. We're going to debone it and make tenderized pork out of it. And it's excellent, grilled or fried. We like it both ways. And then the trimmings and all off this ham, we'll do in sausage. I'm going to lay this out of the way over here. All right, next you can... I'm going to lay my bacon back inside, or the belly of the hog. The next thing you do is you come down here, and I usually go between the third and the fourth rib. You take your knife, you come down to the bone, take your saw through the bone, and you get the front shoulder of the hog. Now the front shoulder of the hog, flip it over. When you cut it in half, you got a fresh picnic ham, and then you got your Boston butt. And we'll come back to that in a minute when I pull the bone out of it, and I will show you the two separate parts of the front shoulder of the hog. Remember, you got a fresh ham, picnic ham, and a Boston butt. Then you take your saw and make your mark alongside the loin. And then you take your saw and you saw through the bacon. I hadn't cut this fully yet, but you can see right there. And I left a little bit of the blade bone. Let me work around that. In other words, that's the shoulder blade of the hog right here. But once you get your side, your fresh side separated, go ahead and let my brother-in-law video. I'll show you how to take your knife, applying pressure upwards, and what you're doing is you're pulling spare ribs off the side of the bacon. Just keep working that knife down them ribs, and I'll show you in a minute here. We get it opened up. set of spare ribs right out of there. See it come right off the side of the belly. Got a nice set of spare ribs. I like to take the brisket bone. You can cut right through it. I usually just save that for seasoning. Then you got a nice fresh side of spare ribs. Just for traying them up wise, usually cut them in half and put them in a pack. And that's a nice set of spare ribs. You can see right here, this is a huge side of bacon, which is one of the main things we're after. Just want to square that up. Both sides. We'll take this out there and I'll be showing you that. Well, I hope to be showing you that. But we may not. But anyway, what we'll do now, we'll take this, we'll salt it down with curing salt. You can use this Morton Tender Cure. We'll salt it down for 24 hours. We'll take it out, we'll wash it off. And we'll hang this side of bacon in the smoker and smoke it. Let me just cut it in half and show you. You can tell that it looks like it. There's two sides, nice sides of bacon. You see your streak of lean running through it. Like I said, we'll salt that down and hang it. My son will go hang it in the cooler until we can get to that later. Okay guys, we're back now and I'm just very lightly show you. If anybody that watches this video that lives around here wants to come and watch me in person do it, you're more than welcome to. Here we got the ham, and we pull the H-bone off the ham. Then you take your knife. Let me turn it back around. My brother-in-law can see with the camera. That's the ball joint in the hip. Take your knife, come right in here, and you pull the sirloin tip off. Now this is only if you're going to be tenderizing your hams. So pull the sirloin tip off. I'll come in, I'll work my knife right around the bone, and I'll take the top round off. Then I'll work around, and I'll pull the leg bone out. And you're left with a heel of round, which is right here. Pull it off. It will go in sausage. It has too much gristle for it to be tender no matter what you do. So when something's like that, we grind it. You got your bottom round and your eye round left. Pull your eye round out right here. We will trim this fat off of it like so. Trim it up really good. And we'll show you what we get out of it, but what I'll do is take my knife, just slice it up in about half-inch pieces. We'll take that over. You can see the beautiful marbling in that Berkshire pig. It's actually a cross between Berkshire and Yorkshire. It has beautiful marbling in the meat. We'll take those pieces and we'll drop them through the tenderizer. Then we'll work these pieces out right here, and all this stuff will go over here in our pan sausage. Sometimes we make smoked sausage, sometimes we make pan sausage. It depends on how the urge strikes us. Today we felt like we would make the pan sausage. So all the trimmings we go over here, be grinding it, add some leg seasoning to it. All right, I'm gonna just set the leg bone, sirloin tip, top round, bottom round, and a few pieces of tenderized pork there. And we got the front shoulder. Front shoulder, you'll take your knife and you'll come in here on the, remember I broke it between the third and fourth rib. Get a hold of it. Just take your knife and continue to work. This is your fresh neck bone. I'll salt this down and we'll smoke it. I'll cut it up in pieces. We'll use it for seasoning. That's your fresh neck bone. You're left with your front shoulder. Take about the middle of the shoulder and cut it down. Now take your hand saw it in half. You're left with a nice Boston butt, see the beautiful fat marbling. Put that on the smoker one Sunday morning. Come home from church, you got something good to eat. Over here we got fresh picnic left. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut one roast out of it. Cut down like this to the bone. Cut one roast out of it. And I'll cut a roast out of it, and that'll be all we'll do. We'll take this, we'll debone it, put it in our sausage. I'll cut this Boston butt in half. We'll have 3 pork roast off the front shoulder. We've done taking the bacon out. We showed y'all the bacon. Last but not least, you got your pork loin. And we decided to debone them and do boneless pork chops and all. It's upside down. You got your tenderloin or your kidney muscle. And it's the most tender piece in a hog, cow, anything, because it's the least used muscle on the animal. And so therefore it's the most tender. Take your knife, run right along the backbone, keep working it around, and you just roll that tenderloin right out of there. I'd already taken this one out. I cut the end off, squared it where it cook even. We had one off the other side. So we put 2 in a pack. I'll make a nice meal one night. Grill those, roast them in the oven. Whatever what you want to do with them. Right now I like to stand the loin up, take my knife, run down the backbone, work it around, work it around, work it around. This is the sirloin end of the loin. This is the ribeye end up this way. I work it all the way down to about the middle, and I just roll it over. And I'll take right along the ribs here, and I start my knife, and I work it off, just like that. And you're left with a nice, beautiful boneless loin. I'll cut this sirloin off, square it up, and just to show you, I'll square this up. These we were going to cut for frying pork chops, about a 1/2 inch thick. You'll notice how much paler and how much more marbling that meat has in it. Those pork chops are just beautiful. This hog was about 7 months old, and I guarantee you, them right there will be super tender, super delicious. Homegrown pork, you can't beat it. I'm gonna put 4 in each pack. That way, if we got company, we can take out 2 packs. If we ain't got company, we can cook 4 at a time. We'll chime this bone off right here. The last part of that is a baby back side of spare ribs. And that's how you debone a hog. When we get all this to a point, we're gonna tray it all up. We'll come back and show you a 1/2 a hog on the table, laid out.
All right, so this is what the cuts look like. We've got some tenderized pork here, Boston butt, pork roast, pork chops. Got several packs of pork chops. This is on one side of the hog. Spare ribs, tenderloin, some more tenderized. And we still have to do the sausage, which is about 45 to 50 pounds of sausage that we're gonna do. This is some of the hot patty sausage. So we just made the hot. We're gonna make some mild. We got about 40 to 45 pounds on each hog of sausage.